Hey everyone, welcome back to the sunny side. I'm Sunny, and today, huh, we're going to ask a simple question. This is your little Monday morning motivation. You can see I'm just getting ready to go for my jog here. For those who don't know, this is the t-shirt from, I just did my nails, so I'm going to run and dry my nails. But like before, this is the marathon t-shirt for the last Toronto Marathon. I'm a little, whatever, so just showing you guys. All right, so here we go. Today's question. Are you contained, right? Do you know your boundaries, but not your boundaries with people attacking you? Do you recognize your own boundaries? Like, are you contained? Okay. The whole, like, if I said, ask you guys a question, are you a narcissist? Everyone would say no. If I said, are you a toxic empath? Everyone would say no. Like, well, obviously, but we are, right? We are a little bit. I know I struggle with boundaries, right? I'm way on like over there. Um, we also know that so on the empath side, I struggle with boundaries, obviously. I do have the empathic characteristic of always wanting to help everyone, right? Boundaries like that. I've learned to let people fall. It's okay, right? We'll help them up. So my new attitude, instead of helping, try let them fall, I'll help them up if they want to help up. A different philosophy than I used to have. All right, so whatever. As far as narcissists is concerned, am I a narcissist? Oh my God, well, I'm definitely grandiose. I definitely brag a little bit. I definitely loud and proud. But you know, I don't know that I've ever devalued anyone in my entire life. It's just not me. I always encourage people. It's the entire point of the sunny side. I don't do any of that kind of because I don't really believe in it. I don't believe it. If you don't like me, go away. Seriously, lots of people don't like me, so I don't care. So I don't know. I don't know. But these are all questions you want to ask yourself. But for today, that's not the point. We're not going to ask if we're narcissists today. We're not going to ask if you're toxic empath today or anything like that. Today, we're talking about boundaries a little bit. Are you contained, right? Or does your energy just sort of spill all over the place? Now, I'm not talking about um, do you radiate in such a brilliant way that your light shines and fills the entire concert hall or the entire room? Do people feel your presence as you're entering the room? Like, do you radiate that brightly? That's not what I'm talking about. Check it out. I'm talking like this because my it's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about radiating. We want to radiate. What I'm talking about, like we want our inside our chakras. We want the energy to come in and oh no, I touched my hand. We want the energy to come in and radiate outwards. We want to radiate. It's what you're trying to do. Be a conduit, a nice, healthy, vibrating conduit is what you want to be. Conduit of energy. So that's what you want. Energy comes in and transmutes you, and you're a healthy, healing part of this universe. Just like the way the trees clean the air. You guys ever think about this? The way the trees clean the air. They breathe in all the nasty stuff and they exhale, expel all the good stuff. Just like a tree cleans the air. It's a beautiful conduit. It's beautiful in nature. You want to be a conduit like that, right? In through the nose, out through your asshole. Is that what I'm trying to say, Sonny? No. It's not really. You want to be like a conduit like a tree. So the energy around, like the world is filled with crappy air, right? It's part of the how we breathe. And the trees just filter it out. And so when that negative energy comes towards you, you just want to be a conduit. Let it filter out. It'll come through you like the tree and it'll go out in a beautiful way. That's what you want to be. That's being part of, that's your part. That's your part of nature. Like if you haven't figured it out yet, that's your part of nature. That's how you do it. Until you can do it, we could talk about here and figure out how we can get there so that you can be a conduit. So instead of being polluted, trees aren't polluted by the toxic air they breathe. Like, why are you polluted by the toxic stuff you breathe? All right, whatever. Story time. Here we go. Halfway through story time. Boundaries. It's not about other people attacking you. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about you spilling out. You see those people spill out. And I'm talking, let's use a funny joke about being clumsy. Say you're sitting there, right? And you're sitting there and you're watching someone and they're in chaos, right? They're chaotic. There's chaos. they have visual noise. You look at them and they look loud. And I'm not talking about like, like Sunny is loud, right? Dynamic, loud, proud. But they're coming along and they've got their stuff and they come in to sit at your table and they spill their stuff all over the place. They're like, they're talking to themselves, they're breathing loud. It's like they're looking for engagement. But we're not talking about looking for engagement today. We're not talking about falling for someone else's nonsense. We're talking about, is this person contained, man? Or are they spilling all over the place? Like, what the hell? We all carry too much at times. Whether we physically carry too many things, or we carry too many ideas in our head, or we're carrying too many emotions within our soul, our spiritual essence. Sometimes we carry too much with us and it spills over. Too many ideas. I'm talking out loud. Too many emotions. I'm like freaking out here. I'm carrying too much stuff. I'm dropping stuff all over the place. It's normal. That's okay. It happens. Story time number 2. So I'm sitting there in the hospital, watching in a room, right? Just sitting there, contained, just contained. No, not making any sound because the patients want to be quiet. Everybody wants it quiet. We're healing. It's quiet. And some person is rummaging and fidgeting and mumbling to themselves and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And in my brain, I'm like, shut the, what the hell? I'm not naming any names because this happens to everybody all day, all the time. It's just the way life is sometimes. And sometimes we are that person when, like I said, we're carrying too much of a load. Physically, emotionally, intellectually, too much of a load, and sometimes we spill all over the place. But I already told you guys, there are days that it feels like it's lunchtime. You look at your watch, and like, I don't know, people look at their watch, and they go, oh my God, it's lunchtime. I feel like I've argued. I feel like I've spent the last 3-4 hours in nonstop screaming competitions, screaming at people, like yelling at like, why, putting out fires and yelling and screaming at everyone. And you haven't even spoken with anyone yet that day. Right? You're spilling over. Right? You're not contained. Well, you might, if you spill over, maybe that's not a good example. That's an example of something else. People are taking up real estate in your mind, body, and soul. That's a different thing. Today's question is nice and simple. Are you contained? Can you sit there quietly? You see, guys, it's no longer about being able to leave footprints in the sand of time. And it's no longer about being able to walk the rice paper without leaving a mark. It's no longer be like the water. It's not. It's no longer like that. It's like that was the way it is from like the beginning of the scribbles on the piece of tablet until the 1960s, and it oozed into the 70s. But we're not there anymore. Oh, I elaborated. We're not there anymore. The world has changed. You don't want to be like the water anymore. There's a time to be like the water. There's a time you have to be like ice. And there's a time you have to be like steam so you can flow, rise up and push out. There's a time you have to be like hard like ice and cold. And there's a time you have to flow like the water. And there's a time for each state. There's a time when you have to leave big, deep, solid, eternal footprints in the sands of time. There's a time for that. Yeah, there's a time. I'm Canadian. There are nuckshucks all over the country. If you drive on the Canadian highway, you'll see them all. They're everywhere, telling that we're here. And there are times you have to do that. And there are times you have to shut up and sit down and be quiet. So we started this conversation out like, are you contained? And the answer is, some of you are, some of you aren't. I'm not overly contained. So then there are times when, so that's the deal. That's the question today. Are you contained? Are you caring too much? Are you spilling out? Do you normally spill out? Is there a leak in your boundary? Do you spill out only towards one person? Or do you spill out, those people who talk really loudly on the phone so everyone can hear their conversation? Or somebody like blah, 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 blah. Right? We've all been there. We've all done it. We all get emotional. We're all like, hey, maybe she likes me. Maybe I'll talk big here. Like, maybe like, hey, man. Maybe. So we're all like that a little bit. And so that's the deal. So do you spill out? Right? When do you spill out? Are you spilling out only to a particular person about a particular topic? Is there one person you go to every day to complain? Or do you complain about one, or, is that what you do? Are you complaining about one thing? Anyways, that's the deal. And then we moved from do you spill out to carrying different burdens, right? And then we went on to say something else. I don't know. It's 11 minutes. I have to end the video. All right, guys, that's your motivation for today. I hope everyone has a super amazing day. I hope everyone has a super amazing day. I'm going to go for a little bit of a run. I'm going to do some horoscopes for you guys. And that's the action. Then we're not asking, are you a narcissist? You're going to say no. You're not going to ask if you're a super empath, you're like a toxic empath. You'll say no. just check your energy. That's it. Just check your energy. Are you leaking energy? That's it. Wishing everyone the best. Super amazing day. And I'll see you guys.